Hello,
Good
hello.
evening,
Check, check.
everyone.
Hi, folks.
Bingo.
Hey,
What's his name, oh?
Again?
Oh, no.
Church is once more experiencing mic issues, everyone.
there we go. No, honestly, I think this is the same problem Billy had Wednesday.
Oh, rip.
There was an update and it reset everything to default. But we're good. I'm back in there. I think we're all here. We're all audible, visible, groovy. Welcome, everybody.
Good evening, once again.
Once again. Because it does bear repeating. World of Cairne, once again, back in Stonebridge. Strange murders happening. Anybody want to give a recap? I know you guys love to do those. Anybody?
I can take a shot. Preparing for my trip has kind of shattered my brain a little bit, but let me see what I can get in here.
All right. No worries.
We began the session having already arrived in Stonebridge, home port of the Hyverstedians, and been accepted under the auspices of our dear friend Uki and her big boss and grandfather, Jorgen, I believe.
Yes, Jorgen Panuk.
Jorgen Panuk. We had delivered unfortunate news of Shillelagh, who was a companion of ours, however temporarily, at the beginning of this campaign, and who, it turned out, Uki had been sent forth to find. But all that aside, we had some good times, we gave some bad news, Uki saw her mom. Session begins. We spend a lot of it just kind of tooling around town. Some shopping is done for all-weather clothes. It's very cold here. A little bit of extra stuff happens. There's a lovely funeral that listener was very excited to attend, and there was a murder. We were
fun.
not permitted to see very much about it, but apparently it was quite nasty, and suspicions at the time of the incident were of wolves having made it into the walls, and then a lot of us proceeded to go on and read entirely too much into the phrase wolves in the walls, rather than it being them literally speculating on wild animals having breached the city's defenses.
Very true.
Beyond that was a very quiet session. There was a little bit of feasting. There were conversations between Saoirse and Aisling. And then there was another murder, if I remember right.
Yes, I believe so.
I think that was the very end of that session. Ah, and of course, we have met another companion, who we don't know very much about yet. If you want to fill us in there, Simon, feel free.
Absolutely.
He's got some very impressive hair.
Yes, he's an archaeologist. Mm-hmm. Nothing else at all. Very much an archaeologist.
Just
Nothing else exciting happened.
No, not at all. Nothing illegal or frowned upon at all.
No, of course not. That would be silly.
You're so silly.
And I believe you guys had really just kind of started meeting him mainly because he stood out of Volrestad and Stonebridge. What the heck?
Yeah, he's very far from home, as are we.
And then the murder had just happened, if I remember correctly. You guys haven't even
Yes.
involved
Haven't even
yourselves in that.
reacted.
Okay. So, We were in the Great Hall, if I remember correctly,
Mm.
when that happened. Hammer Spark. And that was where the feasting was happening and where the Volrestad was met. So, ladies and gentlemen, take it away. Where do we go from here?
Actually, where we left off is we had our big feast. Saoirse saying we had the vigil for everyone, and or the vigil for Chilele, and then we went to sleep sometime, like it was early in the morning, so we woke up in the afternoon and we woke up to the news that there was another murder.
There we go. That makes more sense. Okay. So, you wake up to the news of another murder. My apologies.
Yeah. Number 2.
Number 2. Stacking up. What do you want to do about it?
What? Nothing. It's not our matter to resolve. I'm staying in my bunk or hammock.
That is a very
in the
fair
middle
thing.
of the long haul.
That is entirely fair.
That's the sort of thing Az would do.
Just putting this here. I know you guys know this is the medical facility. So. All right. So you hear the cries of foul play, another death, but you just kind of let it go, which is fine.
I would like to go investigate because there is someone who might need help.
Okay.
Not the dead person. I don't think I can help that.
That's more my area.
All right. So, you run out. What, you want to follow the crowd, I guess?
Well, I'm going to move at the appropriate speed for the crowd.
All right. Is anyone else following suit?
I'll trundle along after.
Saoirse will.
Absolutely.
All right. So basically everyone
So
but
Genesis.
Az. Genesis going?
I'll go as well, but I'll I think that the fact that one of our party members can't go because they'll be suspicious is pretty annoying. But
Who?
you know, I think Genesis is gonna be like, well, you know, the fact that you can't go with us is really sad, but I'll be sure to fill you in when we get back, so you're kept in the loop. You know, because it's kind of unfair that we have to
Talking about
treat you
Az?
like this, right?
What? I'm not a suspect. I didn't do it.
Yeah, but I understand the meaning behind you sitting here like this so obviously. Like,
It's because you're a dirty elf.
it's because they live with
I'll
such a
take your
stigma.
tongue for that.
They live with such a like a automatic suspicion. It's not really fair.
You have caught a bit of wind of that, but nothing directly accusational yet.
It's honestly okay. I could use a rest and a vacation.
All right.
I mean, this isn't a work trip. This is vacation until I'm asked to work.
Yeah, I'll follow behind, but just kind of stay chill
All right.
in my usual way. Let me find the thing for that. Where is it? Is it not on my character sheet? Wow. I don't think it's on my character sheet. It's probably on here.
I'm sure you've posted
Yeah.
it before.
Yeah, it's this one.
Mask
Wow.
of Obscurity. Okay.
It's not working.
It's all good. I know which one you're talking about.
Now, I do want to ask, does that mean it's the same figure as before? Did we just regain Jerry?
No?
I will leave that to Genesis to explain.
I don't know who Jerry is. Who's Jerry?
It's an imaginary person that we think we see whenever you're obscured. See, Jerry is entirely unremarkable, you see.
Wow.
Don't worry about it, it's just Jerry.
It's a mental construct of the fact there was one extra person.
That's
I
how
just
that
took to
works.
calling them Jerry.
Let me see if I can put this into chat. Nondescript individual. Yeah. Alright,
You're good.
cool.
Ooh, that was a very small. There. So, murder 2. Did I spell that right? Yeah, okay. Murder 2 is on your map. You guys wind through the snow-covered passes that go between the dome-shaped buildings that make up the houses of the Hyverstedians here within Stonebridge. There is a large crowd already gathering. Unlike a lot of urban areas where a murder will happen or something horrible will go on, and you'll see the crowd gathering and they're all gossiping and, oh God, what happened? You know, the usual thing that you might see. The Hyverstedians are strangely very stoic. They're looking on quietly, even in this type of situation. It's an organized thing, almost, is what it feels like. When people need to come through, it's like they will part in a wave around them without any hassle or deviation or slowing down of those who are coming in to secure the location or begin the investigation, etc. If any of you don't follow this, which is probably most of you except for Uki, because this is a very regimented lifestyle, you'll tend to kind of bump into people who will, you know, kind of look down at you with scowls, like, geez, get a grip, get a clue, you know, that type of thing. But nobody says anything really untoward.
I feel like Uki would be leading the pack and directing us.
More or less. She would kind of lead you through, probably, but the social
Hard to
constraints.
teach somebody how to work a crowd in a
Yeah.
specific way.
The social constraints are kind of... She's probably looking back going, why aren't you guys doing this correctly? Were you raised somewhere other than Stonebridge? So yeah, you make it to you make it to the home. Once again, there's already 2 Fusiliers in the front, 2 Fusiliers in the back, just like before. There is a crimson smear coming from the doorway into the snow, and you see dug into not only the snow but the packed ice below it, where a set of hands dug in and were torn back into the domicile, like finger marks scratching along the ice. You can see bits of blood and fingernail in those as well. Whoever was pulled back into the house was done so by something very strong and very violent.
That's not disconcerting at all.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's probably okay. Well, you know me, I'm gonna be like peering around people, or more likely over people.
All right. So the door is once again shut, much to your chagrin. You all are kind of standing in a group. I assume probably towards the front, around this area, trying to peer in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that seems like what I'd be doing.
Okay. So yeah, you're all there. You're trying to peer in. Everybody's doing the onlooker routine. Aisling is clinging to Saoirse's arm and kind of peeking over her shoulder. She looks nervous and terrified.
How can Aisling be peeking over Saoirse's shoulder? Isn't she like 5'4" and Saoirse's 6'2"?
Well, around your shoulder. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Peering around your shoulder. She's nervous. She's floating. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's just, you can tell she's actually really, really nervous about that. She's got a grip on you like you wouldn't believe. Anybody want to do anything?
Go on.
I am going to keep an eye out for a benevolent, and if I see one, ask if they need help. If they need an extra set of hands.
Give me a perception roll.
Figure anatomy and stuff, they would be there up theirs.
Solid. All right. You do see the patch of one of their benevolence. Actually, just about to enter into the domicile.
I speak very quiet. I'm not yelling, but basically ask, would you need assistance of another set of hands, brother? Or sister? Is it a male or female?
It's a male. You're good.
All right.
So he looks back at you, kind of looks you up and down. He said, "Where'd you school at?"
At the college, I was assisting with your brethren yesterday, helping and learning from you.
He looks around, kind of leans in and whispers something to one of the Fusiliers, and then nods for you to follow him.
I will walk that way, appropriately speeded.
All right.
Wilhelm solo mission.
All right. So the door opens, allowing the benevolent and Wilhelm in. Listener, I know you're desperately trying to catch a glimpse in.
I would like to, if the door's open. I'm just trying to, just have a peek. Look at a disposition of bodies and spirits.
All right. So one of the more common things within Hyverstedian home building, right, is, as you can see, just even on the overhead map, the way that they're shaped with the domes, so you have the doorway that's a small passage that leads in, and it kind of creates a foyer, let's say, right? There's usually a cloth or fur hanging, right, on the just on the inside of that, so that when people come in the door, all the heat from the inside doesn't just fly right out, etc. However, in this particular instance, that hanging that is normally there has been torn down. You do get a very easy glimpse inside, but I am going to ask you to make me let's do investigation.
Oh, okay.
I want to see how much detail you can catch before the door shuts. Solid.
Nice.
All right. So, what you see is fairly shocking. Warning.
I'm duly warned.
Yes, and those of you at home and here in the player base as well. What you see are a man and woman laid out on the floor next to one another. Their chest cavities have been split wide open and emptied. You assuming the splatter all over the room is probably what was in there. They are holding hands, facing one another, with both of their throats ripped out. Their legs are bent at odd angles, as are their arms, both at the knees and the elbows. That's about all you get before the door shuts.
Well, that's not wolves at all.
So, Wilhelm,
Yes.
you are inside the domicile with what I've just described. Even with your practice and steady nerve, this is a little unnerving. Because of the cold stone and whatnot of the place, like there is no normal, like, ghastly smell like you would normally have. The bodies are reaching that point much slower.
I follow the. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask what you wanted to do. You're good.
I'm going to follow the other gentleman's lead.
Okay.
If he starts preparing the bodies, I will do that. If he starts inspecting them, I will do that as well. I'm going to be respectful while providing service.
All right. So he immediately walks over beside the male, kneels down in the gore, and takes out a long pair of tweezers and immediately begins to pick around inside the chest cavity. He looks up at you and he goes, "Well, I thought you wanted to help."
I start doing the same to the other body.
All right. So tell me what you're going to do specifically. Like, is this a forensic investigation? Is this just a medical exam? Tell me kind of what you're looking for.
I'm going to start with the simple stuff. I know that they have mentioned wolves in the walls. Now, this doesn't seem to fit an animal attack. I obviously have some schooling in nature and animals as well. I'm going to try, starting forensically, looking to see what instrument or even what type of creature caused the chest wound in particular.
Okay, so trying to figure out what caused it is your goal.
While also, as a secondary, is there anything missing from the chest?
Well,
I know you said
everything.
emptied out. Okay.
Everything.
Wasn't sure if it was like, there's a slit. Then I will also see how things were removed. Was it a clean?
Okay.
Or was it more of a scraping? Because if something scraped, then there should be marks on the inside of the chest cavity.
Oh yeah, we're getting detailed now. Give me a medicine roll.
With advantage from anatomy?
Of course. It's the joy of the skill. Boom, look at that, 25. All right. So, you start picking around. The first thing you can tell is that the sternum was ripped apart. It was not sawed or cut or broken cleanly. It was ripped by most likely something gripping the rib cage on either side and pulling. There was a clawed hand or paw that caused the removal. You can tell by the scoring on the vertebrae and the ribs. There's a lot of it. Whatever did this did so violently, like just tearing at it to do it. That's a pretty good roll. I'll say that whatever did it had either 4 or 5 claws on each hand or paw, based upon the scoring that you're getting and the damage to the flesh on the backs.
Can I do a quick check to also see? Obviously, something had enough force to do this. Are there any other marks in the surrounding area? Because if something was moving with a 5-clawed hand or paw, the likelihood is it dug its nails into some other surface, whether it means a misswipe or something else.
Solid. Okay. Give me. We'll do investigation for this one.
Oh, that's a natural one.
So yeah, you don't see anything. In fact, your failure is going to give you an interesting piece of information. There is not a single claw mark or footprint in here.
I share my findings with the other gentleman.
Let me give the other gentleman a quick roll here. Okay. So he looks up at you kind of puzzled. He says, yeah, I'm kind of finding the same thing, but he looks around. He says, you're right. There's not a single footprint in here. Could it have been something flying? Floating? I mean, we see those things come in off the water, but they would have had to get through the wall.
What if it was more intelligent?
Go on.
You assume an inadvertent, but if there was more than just an animal intelligence,
Yeah, but to what
then
purpose?
it might.
Why this? I mean, are we under attack? Should we rally the troops? Should we lock down the city?
It might be. I assume you also found no internal organs.
Well, they're actually spread around all over the room.
Okay, so there are. I'm assuming this isn't the only time you've seen this.
Well, I
Do
mean,
you know?
this is just how the first one was just like this.
Do we know if all the parts are here? Like if we reconstructed the body, or is there anything missing? Maybe.
It's shredded.
Okay.
That would be an incredible puzzle work.
I would like to try mentally deciphering that.
Largest brain.
This, give me just a d20 roll. This is like when I say shredded, this is like trying to open up a package of ground beef and put together what it looked like before it went into the grinder.
I'm just saying, I have a ridiculous intelligence,
You do. I will give you a chance. I'll give you a chance.
a photographic memory. Alrighty. There!
Look at that.
The best that ever did it.
You guys
Nice.
and your dice rolls. Have I mentioned that my players cheat?
Only several times.
So, solid roll. So, Wilhelm, you become the meme. You know, the calculations and math quotations start floating around your head as you puzzle around the room. God, that is such a good roll. You don't see anything that looks like it's missing or even eaten. As far as organs and organelles, there is a remarkably small amount of blood for the carnage.
I mentioned that. Considering the amount of carnage, nothing seems to be taken, though. there does seem to be quite a lack of blood.
Why, that makes even less sense.
Vampire.
You're saying a person did this?
I'm seeing the blood was removed for some reason.
Alright.
But what would have use? I would like to stick my... If nobody's going to stop me, I'm going to stick my head out the door and see if I see any quick trace of blood.
No, nobody will stop you. All you'll see, though, is the finger marks I mentioned earlier.
Blood has to be somewhere.
So yeah, you guys will see Wilhelm kind of open the door and peek around and start looking around, puzzling over something.
Since I can ask him without asking him, I do so. I just ring him up on the mental link and go, something puzzling you, friend Wilhelm.
I am going to quickly just basically try to give him an image of the room as well as everything I have figured out.
Alright.
But I am also going to stick my head back in. Sir, there is another... One of my companions has the ability to speak to the departed. They might be able to retrieve information from them as well, if that is not a problem.
He looks a little apprehensive at the idea. It's like, I need to run that past Jorgen. Bringing it. We've already brought you in here, and you're benevolent, which gives you a little bit of leeway, but this is Stonebridge. And Hyverstedians are Hyverstedians.
I understand, sir, and I appreciate the risk you took with me, and I understand that. Thank you. And I also understand if you can't.
Yeah, I would need to run that past Jorgen. And this guy is actually not Hyverstedian, by the way.
What is he?
He's a Angamute, actually, by the look of him. Got those kind of sandy, rugged features.
Interesting.
But yeah, he'll step up and kind of brush his knees off and motion towards you to get out. He'll follow along with you. Politely, not in a rude way.
Yeah, we'll do that, of course.
He'll shut the door. Says, I have to report this. Thank you for your assistance. You've been very helpful.
I am glad I could be of any...
And he kind of looks around and dips his hat at you guys politely and saunters off back towards the medical facility. The hospice. What are you guys doing? Now, I will say, by the way, listener.
Yes.
You did not see any spirits in there.
Ooh, fascinating.
You did get a clear shot for a few seconds, and you did not see any spirits.
Yeah, this is solidifying my theory.
Yes. Now that Wilhelm's back out, I say, did you discover anything else?
There were two figures. Are you... Do I feel like I'm just speaking to listener, or is listener doing the party line? And it's
No, this is
quickly,
just to me.
rapidly.
It's just to me.
Okay.
Party line.
Something ripped this apart. These chests were done with extreme force, with a multi-clawed finger. I'm not sure. There was a surprisingly lack of blood. Most wounds of this severity, there would have been a large amount. So a large amount of the blood was removed, though I did not find it. Also, the mark all appear to have been done with enough accuracy that they were not there were no accidental hit. So things like the floor or the walls, where you would expect to have seen a clawed thing digging its nails in to provide a stronger blow, was not there. Which could be multiple things. There might not have been clawed toes. It could just be clawed hands. And to be honest, might not even be clawed hands. It could be some sort of gauntlet with sufficient strength behind it.
Did it seem as if they were killed? He gestures vaguely. Here? I caught a glimpse through the doorway and did not see their spirits. They typically hang around wherever they were killed.
A lack of blood from their bodies being killed elsewhere would be a possibility. It would also explain why there was a lack of it. I did ask if it was possible for you to investigate it, and was politely informed that the gentleman would have to check with Jurgen. To be honest, I don't know if he will ask. That feels like going out of his way for something that may not have a benefit. But I did ask if it was possible for you to see.
Well, that as well. I received a very similar response inquiring at the first house. Very interesting.
So, now this is happening relatively quickly, but everyone's still kind of standing out here in the cold around the murder house.
Yeah, a span of seconds.
As Wilhelm rejoins and you guys have this conversation, Aisling will kind of gently pull at Saoirse's arm. And she says, "Oh, I don't want to be here. I don't like this."
Well, we can go back inside if you want.
I would really appreciate it. This is quite morbid.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure I want to be here either.
Yeah, let's go away from this place.
And Saoirse will nod, and we'll head back to Hammer Spark.
All right, so back to Hammer Spark. The rest of you?
Following along, suspiciously.
Okay. Is that everybody? Anybody staying?
I will be following as well. Probably continuing the conversation with listener.
Okay.
He'll be just going on saying, very curious situation. Must be either they were killed elsewhere and their spirits have lingered, or the spirits themselves have been devoured.
Well, you obviously, I know you're no longer connected, but you also have knowledge as well. Any thoughts on a type of creature that would fit that
Let's say, the things that fit into my own mind feel so much smaller. Let me think. And then I'll make the necessary, what do you think, history check?
Depends on what you're trying to
Nature,
figure.
maybe? Thinking back to instances of spiritualists reporting spirits having been devoured, consumed, or lost.
Okay, specifically that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, history. Let's go with history for this one.
There you go.
Hearsay, myth and legend, certain forms of the undead. You've heard stories had the ability to devour the spirit or the soul, but nothing substantiated.
I say this essentially. I say, even in what history I had seen, it is quite rare. I would more strongly suspect they were killed elsewhere.
Once you said that, it did make sense.
So,
I
go ahead, sorry.
believe you are correct. Feel like there is more going on, and it concerns me.
Let us allow our conversation to fade into a transition as other people do things.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, you guys make your way back into Hammerspark, into the warmth of the hall, the fires, the swell of sweetmeats over snow and death.
Well, that was completely anticlimactic. You know, for him.
He just says that out loud, just...
Yeah.
So Aisling will actually turn to you. Say, don't you have any respect for the dead?
Absolutely.
Anticlimactic. You're acting like those people meant nothing.
Oh, it means something. Just wish I knew what.
Well, don't think you're above suspicion there, mister.
Where's the thought?
She'll kind of harumph and turn around and go sit down.
Knowing you, you're just hitting us across the face repeatedly with the red herring. Just slap, slap, slap of a fish. But, god damn, it doesn't necessarily feel like it, does it?
It's a good sign I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Cranky, thank you for that lovely reroll.
Oh, we might need that. Yeah.
Yep.
Especially if it's a Wendigo, which I have written a lot on. God help you if it's a Wendigo.
Yeah, my theories right now are Wendigo or Pact of Blood artist.
So, you guys are back in Hammerspark, back in the hall. Of course, the bustling of the Fovenians that you've become accustomed to seeing there carries on. They go about their business. They, unlike the Hyverstedians, and the Hyverstedians, even though they are fairly stoic, you're starting to get that there's a little bit of a concern growing with the general populace over this. The Fovenians are used to death and destruction on a daily basis. They're unfazed completely. They're like, oh, more people died? That's terrible. Anyway, what do you want for dinner? You can see Jorgen just glowering at the end of the hall. He's getting a report, is what it looks like currently. And you can imagine what it's about based upon the darkness in his expression.
Hmm.
He looks very unhappy. So he receives the report, and you swear you can almost hear his grip on the armrests of the seat, like cracking. And he stands up very suddenly, just huge man that he is, and just kind of strides down the hall until he gets to where you guys are. And he kind of looks like he's about to just pound his fists on the table, and then kind of stops and slows himself and uncurls his fingers and lays his palms on the table and looks around at each of you. And he says, I'm under the impression that one of you have done this based upon the information I'm receiving.
Belethir looks around interestedly at all the others. Really? Which one?
I think Genesis also looks around. Concerned.
Yeah, Saoirse will.
Belethir looks more excited than concerned.
Saoirse just looks like. I don't think she's going to be looking around, but has an expression on her face like she doesn't know who in the world it could be in their group. Like genuine confusion and just ignorance and also deep concern.
All right. Ashling's actually cowering beside you. Still gripping Saoirse's arm.
Listener just makes an open palmed gesture, essentially like, do I look like I can do any damage, really?
He glowers at you all for just a moment longer. He says, I will give you 24 hours to clear your name. If you do not...
Go on.
If you do not come to me within 24 hours with proof that you are innocent, you are banished from my city. If I find that you have done this within 24 hours, I will treat you as you have treated the victims.
Proof of innocence.
Isn't it a little bit difficult to
Proof of the negative.
Yes.
Which is statistically improbable.
Yes.
And highly unlikely they will actually be able to provide.
You got this.
I'm sure that there is some evidentiary standard here in the Hyperstedian territories.
But Wilhelm
just for reference...
Wilhelm just reverse engineered ground beef.
Just for reference, though, exactly. If he can do that, what else can he do? And this is coming from the character that can just grab you and throw your skull into the nearest wall with their mind.
Yeah, so never say never.
What in the world of evidence would you require that I didn't think that fought? Like...
No, evidence that proves you're innocent is evidence that proves something or someone else guilty.
Okay. Good to know.
Bring him a killer is what he's saying.
Alright. Good to know.
And you notice he's giving special attention to Uki when he's saying this too.
Yeah.
Who is most likely feverishly upset, somewhere between anger and concern. But you know she's not going to talk back to Jorgen.
Well, no. I would like to make an inquiry of Jorgen.
Okay.
May I have your leave, then, to enter the homes of the deceased? It will ease the process.
Whatever. Just get out of my sight. Get out of my hall.
Oh no.
And
Time to go.
Take that shadowy figure with you.
You talking about Az or you talking about Genesis?
No, Belethir. He points at Belethir.
Not me for once. Nice.
Also, not me for once.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Az is still
perfectly
in bed.
above suspicion.
Az is still in bed.
Yep, I'm still hanging out in my hammock, like in the middle of the hall. Like,
He hasn't
where
even
I'm
gotten
here.
up yet.
No, I have no reason to.
Although, Az, you do get this suspicion that maybe you should probably clear out.
Should I get up? I'll yawn a little bit and roll over.
We'll give you a little insight there. Yeah, probably a good idea. You get the feeling that Jorgen's stressed over this.
I've been here all day and all night, right here in the middle of the room.
Mm-hmm.
I've brought you proof of my innocence.
Well, I mean, he hasn't been in the room all night. He's got his own house.
Well,
There's pretty good corroboration for him having been here.
Possibly. You can tell with those shifty elves. They all use magic, you know.
They wish.
They're not gonna like me in a minute. They're not gonna like me.
The elves wish they all still had magic. That'd be very convenient for them.
the magic went out the window with the tree.
Doubt.
So is everyone getting up and leaving?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how we can sit here and say magic went out the window with the tree when when listener literally cast Featherfall on us to get us across the pit.
Well, that's what Az thinks.
Yeah. That was a secret, though. We don't talk about the Featherfall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that
Oh, I know, I'm messing.
my character would be doubtful after we had someone who could cast magic in the party.
So you guys make your way out of Hammerspark,
Mm-hmm.
back into the cold and the snow.
I'll come with this time.
As you exit, the first thing you notice, and it doesn't take anything special to notice, but especially those of you who are empathically aligned, is that the attitude towards your group is changing. It's shifting. You can feel it. People are looking at you suspiciously.
It's because I'm here, isn't it? Should I just go back inside?
Belethir waves happily. Hi.
But yeah, you definitely tell like there's an attitude shift towards your group happening.
It's because I'm here.
It's because the murder started happening after we arrived. But how would we even begin to solve this? I don't know.
Well, let's see if we can find a spirit. I find that just asking the dead is usually the easiest path.
Alright, so where do you want to go? Back to the first house, or?
Murder House 1 is closer.
Alright.
I always found that trying to talk to the ghosts will make them a little bit too interested.
Trust
Be me.
Alright. So, off to Murder House 1 we go.
Wait, so that's just like a thing you can do?
What?
Talk to the dead?
I mean, not really talk. More like watch what they're doing or what they did do, kind of thing.
I find it much easier to speak to them. It's fairly
mean-
straightforward.
There's 2 of you now?
Uh,
I can't talk to them, but I can see them.
Wait, what's your deal?
Well, you
dangerous
know,
questions.
as an archaeologist, it sometimes helps to have a little bit of an advantage in finding out what exactly happened in the past.
Arky,
Mhm,
what is?
You know, finding out what happened in history. Like, there's
They
loads,
hadn't invented that yet when Az went in the wall.
there's loads of places that we don't know exactly what happened. So some of us are interested in trying to find out. And
Oh, okay. So you mean like a historian?
yeah, in a way. And finding artifacts from way back when.
Oh, okay. So an explorative historian.
Yeah, you could call it that.
Now he gets it.
I understand now.
And so in doing that, it's sometimes useful to have a few tricks up your sleeve.
This seems very familiar.
I'm sure it's fine.
Where have I heard these words before?
And I'm sure it had nothing to do with Evelyn.
I swear that we had someone in our midst with a similar interest.
Well, there are a few of us who kind of gravitate towards that in the tribe, you know?
Who's holding Root, by the way?
Oh, it's me.
Not it.
Are you still carrying Root around, or have you put Root
Oh yeah,
down
I've got him.
somewhere?
He's safely tucked into the robe.
Okay,
It's very cold out there.
smart.
Is this the roots also a plant? Are you 2 plants like mixing your
Ugh!
But-
symbiote, like plant? Kind
No, they're not. They're not.
Is that a graft?
They're not grafting.
Yeah. But
Wildly different varieties of plant person.
yeah, in response to Saoirse, or in response to Genesis and Belethir, like talking, Saoirse will pipe up. Yeah, Genesis, he actually is from the same tribe as Evelyn was.
Hmm.
You see the.
Interesting.
So, Belethir, you'll actually at that mention, you'll actually see this little wooden hand kind of pull aside from the drapings on Listener, and these 2 little eyes peek out.
Poor little Root.
But yeah, he kind of goes back into hiding after he looks at you. But you make your way to the house. The guards are gone. The door is shut. Would you like to go inside?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
Would we like to? No. Do we have to?
I must.
Yes.
All right. So you open the door. The inside, the hanging is there on this one, but you brush the hanging aside, and the first thing you can tell is that it's actually like crusted and sticky when you do. Inside is just carnage everywhere.
Put this peace-bound mask over my face. Take a few deep breaths. Try not to feel the vibes in the space if they're too harsh.
There are some vibes.
Ooh, like hazard to guess. What type of vibes?
Depends on if you want to activate any of your abilities. You have ones that could come into play here. There are no visible spirits. Once again.
Well,
Or a reading.
Just gonna.
Welcome back.
Read the vibes.
All right, so that
Providing a quick update to Wilhelm. We have been accused of murder and required to clear our names, or we will either be banished from town if we cannot produce evidence, or if we are... if the finger is pointed at us, we're just gonna get killed. Jorgen's mad.
I figured that was coming.
he
Yep.
mad. So
Yeah, we're at the first murder house to investigate.
no visible spirits. The aura in the room, and this is us kind of getting to the changes that we made to aura reading. Is that it's dark, it's fear, it's death. It's strangely overwhelming. It's stronger than it should be, though. And you're casting this
You know, as subtle as possibly.
using your subtle spell casting, I take it.
Yeah.
All right. So you kind of wiggle your fingers and pull the little something out of your pouch and kind of put it between your fingers. And then your senses kind of light up. You do see some after image of day-to-day life. You see like a gift being received, and the figure placing a medal on the table, and lovingly hanging a weapon above the door. But as far as the activity of the murder, nothing.
Well. Now that's interesting.
Alright. Yeah.
All right.
Any spirits visible to me?
Nope.
Yeah, I figured.
No spirits.
It sounds like these guys are striking out in there. I guess I'll shoulder my way through the door.
Alright, Asp.
I
Pummels
don't know if I want to dig deeper on this. I really don't.
I know a thing or two about violence.
Mm-hmm. Specialist, you might say.
Kind of a, specialist that's a good word for it. What kind of insights might I gain
Let's see here.
from the scene of this murder? Like how touched has it been in the days since? Like they moved a corpse out at least, right?
Yeah, the body's gone for sure. There's still a lot of scattered bodily materials.
Okay, blood trails and stuff. What kind of insights might a master of violence know or be able to glean from looking around this room?
It's a tough one. Give me a investigation.
Oof. Okay.
Not bad. All right. What you can tell is that whatever happened here happened with a level of violence that is even beyond what you've seen in all of your years. Like, this is something just unholy.
This is brutality. This isn't even art.
Yeah, this was horrific when it happened.
There's no method to it. This is just madness.
Maybe.
I'm gonna have Belethir's gonna have a little bit of a think. And see if he can remember if he's heard of this happening at any point before.
All right.
Anything like this.
Okay. Give me that roll then, please. Add advantage. 24. Solid roll. Now, I will say this. The history of Cairn is filled with incidents not unlike this, because it's Cairn, and you are a Volristad. Your people saw the absolute worst of the Blight, because it was literally at your front door for like a generation. There are things in the dark your character would know that would take an enormous amount of glee to pick a person apart like this, just happily. It would be just like a kid at Christmas. And in fact, you know, you've seen the Ethereman. Maybe it was kids at Christmas. There are horrors in the dark that could do this, though, very easily. But this seems even maybe a little beyond them. Because while they'll play with a body or even a person to torment them, this was just a brutal, like, mutilation. It's almost as if a message was being sent.
Is it like out of control rage or controlled fury? Like,
Well, has Wilhelm's findings been shared with everyone?
No, nobody's told me anything.
I
I've been
will-
hanging out in a hammock. Like,
I think it's only been to listeners, so.
Yeah. Okay.
I will share what I know.
Okay.
This was done from inspecting the bodies. This was done with something with superior strength. But by the same token, there were no inadvertent hits. There were no other marks than the body. Now, what listener has suggested is that perhaps that's because the bodies weren't killed here. And that's why
it definitely looks like they were killed here.
at least with the second one, which I got to inspect, it looks like it was killed elsewhere, possibly brought there.
I will say, with this information coming to light, looking around, you will notice the two of you who have actively investigated Belethir and Az, the area in particular, that there are no disturbances in the muck and gore on the floor and the ground, no footprints, and there's not a single claw, nick, bite, slash, whatever on any of the walls or furniture. The only scoring that you may find is where the body was actually laying, and those are things that probably went through it. Just to point that out now that that information has been shared.
Oh, okay. Almost as if maybe the blood were some sort of a weapon.
Oh, well, that's just silly. There's nothing like that was recently added to the source book.
No, that's just crazy. Like, nobody can do that magic anymore. That was lost 1,000 years ago, even by my standards.
In character, listener to Az.
Vanished
someone
dark
could.
arts.
What magic are you speaking of?
Well, you've seen the way I make my blade.
Yes, you summon energy from, like, thin air.
Imagine if instead of energy from thin air, you used somebody else's blood.
That actually makes more sense. You would have to have some sort of medium to create it out of. Out of thin air doesn't make as much sense as having a physical substance, even blood.
But the level of violence and the state of mind required to pull off such an act led those who gained the skill down a dark path. Powerful spells require human sacrifice. Well, humanoid sacrifice at least. And that's generally frowned upon. At
Well,
least
he hasn't been home in a while.
standards.
There's definitely something not right.
Well, I hate to say it, but so far the only one that's been able to produce weapons out of thin air is the Mad Elf.
Can make him out of shadow, but that's about it.
Which is common for your people, so that's nothing new.
Yeah. Whatever. I hesitate to use the word, magic, but whatever it was, it's certainly taken the most recent memories of the place away. I could see old memories, but not recent ones, if that makes sense.
Church.
Yes.
Limited psychometry. Only inanimate objects. Corpse does not count.
That is correct.
Are they holding anything?
Well, the corpse
Are they
is no
wearing
longer-
anything?
The corpse is no longer there.
Oh, that's right. Is there anything left of theirs around?
Well, this was their house.
Fair point. I would like to find an object that might have been handled on a very regular basis. Every day. We're talking silverware. We're talking, these are hyperstedians,
So-
hunting knives.
So I'm going to
Is there a favorite teacup?
point you back. See, you would have no way of knowing this in character, but I'm going to point at Belethir's use of ghost sight and the things he did see. May be able to help you with that.
Yes. I do not know this in character.
Yeah. But I mean, you're looking around at a gore-crusted home, like so, and you being what you are, like you're wondering why he has half the stuff he has. Like, what
Yeah,
purpose
I'm
does
just like-
that serve?
So many chairs. Why so many chairs?
Exactly. So
I will still look for something, but it may be very difficult.
All right. I'll let you try. Like, between the gore and the lack of like cultural awareness,
familiarity.
yeah. Give me a disadvantaged insight as you look around the room to try and figure out what this individual may have handled often. 12. Excuse me. You'll pick up a plate. You're like
People eat off of these, right? I've seen
eating. Eating's important.
that. You do that every day.
So you want to try your limited psychometry?
Yeah, I'll try it on the plate. Why not?
All right. And this is your spiritualist ability?
Yes, I have popped it in the chat there. I should be able
there
to
we go.
gain visions of creatures that have come into contact with the object.
All right.
the emotions of the last creature to hold it, what occurred while they possessed it.
So you definitely get a very strong image of the man who was slain here. Big, strapping Hyverstedian. You get an image of him sitting at the nearby single table with the single chair, just scarfing down a plate full of hash quite happily. He looks like he's really content, but not much else.
Okay, but now I know what he looked like,
Yes,
so I could recognize a spirit.
yes, you could. If you saw a spirit, you would recognize it.
If it
Very
exists anymore.
And the rest of you just see Listener pick up a plate and kind of hold it lovingly, thoughtfully for a moment.
And set it back down. Yes, very good.
What are you trying to do, listener?
Oh, I was reading the history of the plate. The owner, he was a large man. He
Yeah.
enjoyed his food.
Put that sword up on the wall too.
Oh, that's right. They do love their swords here, don't they?
The sword is gone.
Oh. Well, you can see the imprint of the nails where they were.
Yeah, the sword is gone, but that's in keeping with their tradition.
Yeah, the sword is in use
Yeah,
currently. It's got a spot on the wall. But I continue. Yes. It did not reveal any information of his death. It couldn't have unless he was killed at dinner. But now I know what he looked like.
Well, isn't Belethir, I think, said that he was able to see, the images of life left behind? Maybe he'd be able to inform what objects they may have used before they were killed? Maybe.
Well, okay, so looking around, I can see all the things that they did in the past. But it feels like hard to say, but it feels like old memories, like maybe months old, not recent. Like everything new that happened like maybe yesterday or the day before. I can't see any of that, which is unusual.
I will say,
That true,
Belethir.
Church?
Yeah, it is. The only thing that stands out of note, Belethir, that you're seeing when you used the ability,
Yeah.
was the small medal that he seemed to really be fond of. The little medal like he had earned. It's on a little display on a side table.
The medal. I'll point to the medal and say, however, instead of the plate, try that medal. He'll really like that.
Whatever for, it's just a little disc of... What metal is this? And I reach out and touch it.
Human beings are remarkably sentimental.
They are. So you grab the medal?
Yes, I touch the metal.
All right. So you get an image, and there's a wash of them. You can tell like he touched this item a lot and cared a great deal about it. It's a sharpshooting medal, giving you the idea that this gentleman may have been a fusilier. The images that you get are jumbled and blurred, but the strongest and most recent that you're pulling is him trying to impress somebody by showing it to them. Somebody that he is slightly enamored by. And then
I have a terrible suspicion.
And then it just kind of goes blank.
Ooh, I've got a bit of a suspicion too. Out of character.
It's all good.
Alright, I say. That was more revealing. He's an interesting man. A good shot, apparently. And attempted to impress somebody. But nothing, I think, that helps us towards his killer. I set it back down where it was.
Okay.
Who does the listener say this to?
To you, as a matter of fact, Saoirse, since you were in the midst of telling me to look at things. And I'll tell Belethir right after.
So if he's trying to impress by showing off, maybe the person that he was showing off to wasn't receptive to that kind of thing. But I don't know.
Actually, would listener have showed us the image of what he saw over the thought stream?
Well, as we've said in the past, telepathy is a wash of sensations, images, and sounds, not necessarily spoken words. So, yeah.
Right. I'm asking if
He would
listener
have...
You'd have picked it up.
Yeah, he would have shown you
Okay.
most likely what he saw.
and like his facial expressions and all that.
Well, it's keep in mind, as described
his
in the
perspective.
ability, as described in the ability too, that the images are muffled, blurred, distorted. Like it's not a sharp image at all.
Well, right, but Saoirse is essentially. I want to see if Saoirse gets the sense that he was enamored and how strong of an emotion that was.
Okay. So that's interesting. So there was definitely a degree of attraction. He did want to impress this person, and not in a "Hey, buddy, check this out." More in a "I hope this person likes this" type way. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Because, Saoirse being a Shawneesian, having that innate empathy, but also being a musician who can do this sort of make people very, very strongly enamored with you. She has 2 songs that do that. I wonder if she would recognize that it's, a little bit of an influenced sort of adoration.
Let me see. Trying to think based on these limited skill sets that we have on these sheets. Let me pull somebody's sheet up real quick.
Yeah. His listener will be of no help in this particular issue. He's not super tuned in.
Arcana or insight, maybe?
Well, I mean, you're basically trying to determine if he was under the influence of a musician's skill, so to speak, right?
Even if not necessarily a musician's skill, but some sort of
Charm.
influence, yes.
Okay. I'll let you choose. Arcana or insight?
Insight,
All right.
definitely.
Yeah, go ahead. An insight check. Solid.
Oh, very nice.
There was something off about it. Yeah. It wasn't you. It was a good roll, so I'll tell you right off the bat, it was not a musician's influence. You're familiar with your skill set, and you're familiar with how it works and what it does specifically. This is not that.
Can Genesis take a shot at it, considering that
My dear, Genesis is the most powerful psychic in the room. You're welcome to take
By
a
far.
shot at whatever
Yeah.
you like.
I can make people walk over the ledge.
Yes, you
Let's
can,
see.
as we found.
They don't even have to walk.
Just
You
jump,
can
dive,
throw them.
roll.
Yeah.
Yeet.
Saoirse will say back to listener then, there's something off about the way that he was feeling. It's not a normal level of enamored.
Okay.
Really? I have no idea.
Yep.
Oh my
Oh!
god.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, now, first off, these are very good rolls, and I won't waste them. But what are we using them on? Because right now, listeners only shared this image with Saoirse.
And Belethir. So actually...
Yeah, I did tell Belethir right after. So Belethir would be the other person who could
Okay.
Yeah.
do it.
I was trying to think of what kind of arcane influence
Okay.
would be
I'm
that
gonna
book.
say that since I'm not really, I'm in the obfuscation, so I'm gonna watch listener pick up the metal, watch him put it back down.
Okay. Just trying
Some
to-
shit's going on here. What the hell?
Okay.
That's all I got. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the details of the metal or the story of the infatuation, so I'm just
All right. Well,
running
you're,
on vibes.
that's a good insight roll. You can tell that there is some communication going on between them concerning the metal that's on the side table that listener picked up. You can, based upon the way that they're looking at each other, interacting silently, you know there's some mental communication going on.
Saoirse will say, listener, we may want to connect everyone up.
Very well. And I'll do the serial multicast as I do. I'll give everybody the
Party line.
scoop.
All right.
Oh,
So-
now that's new.
The party line kicks off. Belethir, this is the new experience as... Is Belethir included in the web?
Oh yeah. I was telling him things anyways. So.
All right. Keeping in mind that this opens everyone to everyone.
Oh no, we're not doing thought stream. I'm just telling them. I'm feeding everybody the information.
Oh, so just the quick fire.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that'll bring everybody up to speed.
I might
So-
need that later. That's a once a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your insight check, just to go in order. Your insight check with that, Master Miss. Genesis, your it wasn't a psychic ability that caused him to act it, but you get the sense too that there was something off. It was not a mentalist ability though. And Belethir, that's a very high roll. This man was definitely under some type of charm or fascination of some sort, but it was not an arcane one.
Could this have been somebody's attempt at artistry?
Narrowing it down here. Musician, arcanist, mentalist.
I get the feeling it's neither of those. It's not something that we have within the party, otherwise it would likely jump out. We don't really have a lot of people who specialize in making people infatuated with them, except for perhaps our new guest, who's been suspiciously quiet this entire time.
Belethir?
Saoirse can make people infatuated with them, but you know, she figured out when a musician thing.
I don't know that our new friend is just a musician.
Well, she's probably not just a musician, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, we have people in the party who can charm others. I'm just addressing that statement specifically.
And if it were their abilities, I think it would spring to mind. Oh, that sounds like something I would do.
So we agree it's Belethir then.
No.
I wish I could make people like me. That would be handy.
So what is the path from here? What are we thinking? And did you include Ashling in the?
I can't.
Did you
Ashling,
try? I should say.
sus.
I might instinctively like reach in her direction, but I've tried multiple times. There's nothing there to reach.
Yeah, it still comes back blank. That's why I was asking. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like,
Sus.
Azdruzhar did say that he wanted to check to make sure that it, was any sort of like artistry involved.
How are we determining that? Keep in mind that Az's skill with artistry is
Different.
it's in a unique place. So tell me what you're doing, Az. How are you trying to make this determination?
I don't know. I'd like to just look at blood spatters, I guess, and kind of put like try to recreate the crime by looking at the blood, I guess. Like, oh, okay, so that's a big splash there on the wall.
There's not a lot of blood here.
No
Most
blood.
of the blood that is here, it would be surface blood that came off of things that were flying out of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all dried and caked and flaking by now.
Oh, okay, I don't know then.
I mean, you could always pull your weapon out and try to like go through the motions and recreate it, I guess.
I could, but I am currently wearing my cuffs willingly. I can take them off, but I'm not doing that in the walls.
Your call.
Yeah, it's for the best.
All right.
See?
Now
See? Chains on my wrist.
I will say this, as based on your insanity,
Oh.
give me a willpower or wisdom saved, please, because of your obsession with the goal. You have a goal before you.
Okay.
All right, you're holding on, but like you're kind of biting at your teeth. He was like, I gotta know, because like now that you have this goal, like you have to determine what's going on. So this is eating at you really hard.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna turn the long haul into a giant yarn yarn board.
Well, if we were able to glean all this information about what happened before the first murder, maybe we should go do the same in the other location? Maybe to see if there are any commonalities?
That seems wise.
All right. Is everybody heading to Murder House too?
Yeah, Murder House
Yes.
too.
All right.
All right.
So as you what's that?
Belethir he's looking around. Does it look like the killer was, even though it was brutal, that he was trying to disguise what he was doing?
I mean,
Like, in some way, like, make it just look like it's a brutal, horrific thing where there's actually some kind of pattern.
aside from the clues you've found so far, nothing else stands out to that regard. some of the clues you found so far might point in that direction, potentially. You know, the lack of footprints, the lack of collateral damage, the lack of the amount of blood there should be, that type of thing.
Can I have a look around and see if there's anything that whoever did this has missed? If they're trying to disguise, like, purposefully, like, not leaving footprints, can I check to see if there's anything they might have missed that they missed themselves? Maybe.
You try.
Investigate?
Investigation.
Yeah.
Nothing showing up. I mean, it's nothing new standing out for you. So,
Dang it.
is everybody leaving?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, as you guys exit, Aisling is standing outside. She didn't want to come in,
Sus.
but she's freaked out.
She seems to be freaked out.
Yeah, she's standing outside, like rubbing her arms in the cold.
Sure, she's affected by the cold, but not by hunger. Sus.
She wasn't affected by the cold either, supposedly.
I don't buy the fanny pack story. I'm sorry, I don't.
Bumps.
Fanny pack story. So yeah, she's out there waiting on you guys. She'll grab hold of Saoirse's arm as she comes out.
Saoirse will look at her with a smile and say, "We're going to investigate the second house. We have something of a clue from the first, and we're going to see if there's any commonalities."
Oh. Well, that's good news. This is terrible. It's overwhelming. How are you staying so level-headed in the midst of all this?
What?
Internally, I'm not. I've just seen so much.
You're a brave one, Saoirse.
She'll give a very somber smile in return.
She'll smile back and kind of squeeze your arm a little and walk with you as you guys make your way to Murder House 2.
Murder House.
Once again, now Murder House 2 has been cleared out at this point. Hyverstedians are efficient, if anything. They work quick. Once again, Aisling will stay outside if you guys want to go in.
Yeah, I guess I'll come inside this time.
Yep.
All right. So once again, the bodies have been removed. However, the carnage is still fairly fresh.
Fresher carnage.
Yes.
I've still got
Ghost sight.
ghost sight running, right? Lasts an hour.
Yeah, for the last an hour, definitely. So yeah, you're looking around. Similar to before, you get the images of a married couple going through basic day-to-day life for the most part. The only real insight you're getting here is a very, very private part of Hyverstedian day-to-day life. And that is the fact that when they're alone, they show vulnerability to one another. So you're actually seeing some very rarely seen tender moments between two Hyverstedians. But nothing that stands out as far as the violence.
Any standout items?
Let me see here. Are you looking? Or were you talking about with him?
I'm talking about with Belethir.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have a look around. I'll watch my ghost with my ghost sight and see if I can see anything that sticks out.
Because, like, if we're repeating the actions of, like, the last house, I feel like people are going to be looking for, like, some items to hand to listener.
That's fair. Give me a... We'll do investigation again for this, since you're watching two. Whew, look at that.
A lot better.
Nice.
Big.
Embiggened.
My cheating players once again. 31. Okay, yeah. So,
Oh,
ass.
Jeez.
he's
Poor
found the
ass.
floor.
He's in the next door house. So, I will say this, Belethir. One thing does stand out, and you get a feeling it's a big one.
Oh,
On the small stool next to the bed, covered in the muck and gore, and looked over, are a pair of rings.
oh. Well, now.
You can tell that these were placed here night after night, lovingly.
That kind of means they might have been asleep when they were killed, or
Why did the Hyperstudians leave the things that have sentimental value to the deceased in the home? Like, is that part of it?
I mean, if the rings are all covered in the blood and gore, and they might not have spotted it.
It's only
But
been a
the-
couple
so-
hours.
So
Yeah.
we've been to the first house, they left the metal. This is the second one, they left the rings.
Well, it's not like anyone's moving in there anytime soon. The family
I'll,
would come and claim the personal effects.
Yeah, like, I don't even know if they've cremated the bodies yet.
Yeah.
Or,
these-
like, even held the vigil. I feel like that would be a post-vigil thing, but,
Yeah, I mean,
you
we've
know.
been to the only funeral that's happened since.
Yeah.
Okay.
Belethir will squat next to the stool and say, well now, this is a little bit heartbreaking even for me. Maybe you should come look, listener, and see what you can make of it.
Okay. I shall. I'm almost certain listener does not understand the ritual significance of wedding rings.
No. Well, he might just from his time with the collective. They've seen enough of that.
Yeah,
Or with
they
the-
might understand some sort of bonding ritual.
Yeah.
Or with the captain, or with the various spirits that have
True.
absorbed.
So I have a very particular way of understanding what listener knows, and it's mostly he read through a lot of the history of Cairn with the library that we looted way back from the tombs, and things that he has directly experienced or talked about with people. Apart from that, he just doesn't know much. A lot of the vestiges of the collective are just kind of vague and inaccessible to him. They don't really distribute the entire knowledge base over every node.
Yeah. That's fair.
So
Did you want to try your trick on the rings?
I'm gonna try the trick on the rings. Let me see if he understands it first. Give me a roll for that. I want to have a roll.
History or insight, maybe?
We'll call it history.
Okay. You get the sense that it is a symbol of a connection between people, although you fail to really grasp why a little chunk of metal means that, but people are weird.
People are very strange, actually, and I reach for them.
Okay. Alright, so you are flooded with images. And this is a little hard to piece through because a lot of these are very intense emotional moments. You know, of when the rings were given and the nights spent together in tears as well as in joy, and this incredible bond between these two people becomes apparent in your mind. And it's something that this is kind of new for you, because you're seeing not just love but dedication on a level that you don't see even in other humans often. The Hyverstedian bond, the joining between two people in Hyverstedian culture is significant, like powerful. They're like penguins, you know, mate for life. I will say it comes to a point where once again it just cuts. The rings, the last image you see are the two of them holding each other, taking the rings off as they did night after night, placing them on the stool and laying down in the bed, and then fade to black.
Listener's a little shaken as he sits them back down. He's silent for a moment. He says, "To them it was just another day. I can tell that they made it to bed at least."
So nothing like I'm being enamored with anyone.
Each other.
Saoirse, like, just getting a little misty-eyed. Well, she's getting very misty-eyed, actually.
Understandably.
Thinking back to her parents.
I hope they were unaware of what happened to them.
I hate to be a buzzkill, but according to the claw marks outside the door, probably not.
Seems unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
What?
the psychometry, the image ends essentially the last time they touched it.
What claw marks outside the door?
What door?
Poor Az. He's trying.
Rip.
He's opening a cabinet. There's nothing outside.
I think I found the outhouse, guys.
Why?
I don't know. It's a shitty building.
Oh no.
Ba-dum-ts. So, anybody else doing anything in here?
I was gonna give somebody else a chance before I continue doing stuff.
All right. Master Miss, you want to try anything?
Genesis is just quietly blending into the background and investigating as aloud, like, it's weird to me. It's very weird that there are things and people in these houses that are very loved, and those aren't, like, I feel like that's almost a common line of reasoning that, like, is significant in some way, and I just don't know why. That's important for later, I feel like.
So I have a question for you, Genesis.
Yes.
And if it's intentional, just say, shut up, I'm doing it intentionally, and that's fine. Are you neglecting your retrocognition on purpose? Your literal ability to see into the recent past?
Oh, shit. Everyone forgot about that.
No,
And if you're doing it intentionally because you don't want to be overwhelmed, like, or whatever, that's fine. Just in case you're forgetting you have it or something, I just wanted to bring it up.
There are aspects of this investigation that make me feel as if the emotions surrounding them will be a bit much.
And that's fair.
I
If
don't...
it's an in-character thing, it's totally okay. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't, forgetting you had an ability or something, because I do that all the time.
It's not like an intentional omission. It's a palpable reluctance
Okay.
Because if House 3 has the same pattern of
Oh, there is
caring
no
for
House 3 yet.
someone or loving for
Yeah.
loving someone, and then it's like closer to home in terms of what
Yeah.
Genesis past is, then we're gonna see this character kind of fade to the background because it's a bit much for them emotionally.
Understandable.
Like
There
I've
is-
already
There is no Murder House 3 yet.
like some of these aspects of the story are a source of pain for this one. So getting closer to this is not really something that she wants to do.
I understand.
But if I can investigate by just looking at the scene and figuring out the facts, then I will have to dig deeper emotionally, even if I don't want to.
Okay. All good. All good. That's totally understandable. All right. In that case, where do we go from here, my friends? Where do we go from here?
Belethir is going to check out the claw marks.
Okay. The ones that are the human ones from outside?
Yeah.
Okay. As I mentioned before, it does appear that somebody made it out the door and was drugged forcibly back in. They attempted to stop it by digging their fingers into the ice and snow and basically ripped off nails and skin to fight against it, but were forced back inside.
Would the limited psychometry count for fingernails?
Well, no, it's organic.
Rip.
Good call, though.
Yes.
Good call. I will say...
The door frame?
Huh?
The door frame?
Not the door frame. There... I shouldn't be helping you. Tell you what, give me... Belethir, since you're the one that brought it up, give me an investigation roll. Solid. Cheater.
It's only a 9.
There is something missing from the doorway that most of these houses have that could be used.
Door jam, maybe?
The hanging. Remember, it was torn away. That's what let listeners see inside.
Yeah. The curtain type thing.
Yeah.
The veil.
It's not hanging in the doorway, which means it's probably somewhere in the house.
I'll point that out. We're missing a veil thing.
Saoirse will begin looking for it.
Alright. Investigation rolls for those who are seeking the missing item.
Sure.
19. Solid.
What
23.
missing item?
23. Okay. Alright. Look at that.
Oh, hey, we're pretty good.
I think we may have found it.
Shit.
What-
Dear
what
Roll
missing-
20,
what
your
missing
dice
item?
suck. Thank you.
Hey, that's a sponsor. Be nice.
Well, we're still trying to
Well-
get back into the new program, so we're safe to say that for now.
Hold
Sorry,
on, it's
Danny.
Not technically a sponsor at the moment.
True. So, and yeah, you guys all together kind of turn around and immediately see all together at the same time this heap kind of in the back of the room, and you can kind of tell that it's this blood encrusted curtain that once hung over the internal part of the doorway.
Ew, that's kind of gross. Who put that there?
I feel as if this one may have been slightly more recent when I reach out and poke it.
All right.
You're gonna touch it? Why would you touch it?
So you are immediately flooded with a wash of emotion, rage, terror, horror, just floods over you. The most prevalent of these is just this painful, howling sorrow of loss. Just hits you in the stomach, and it's something you're not used to feeling. The only thing you can really equate it to is the day you got cut off from the collective. It's similar to that sensation But topping it is this just almost painful need to escape, to get out, and then pain, extreme pain, and you have these blurry, shaking images of the door flying open and this, from your perspective, falling to the ground, and then something digging into your legs painfully, and you reaching out and clawing into the ground and getting yanked back as your fingernails are ripped off into the house, where you grab the curtain and yank it down. And then give me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Wisdom save. I will use the reroll on this one if I die. I might not die. I'm very good at wisdom saves.
So, you in the image you're watching, you're dragged inside, and as you are, you look up and you see, once again from the perspective of the image you're seeing, your beloved wife, dead on the floor next to you, torn apart, staring blankly at you. And then you are flipped over violently onto your back, and you hit the ground as you do, and it stuns you for a second. Your eyes kind of light up, with spots and glares, and you try to catch it. And all you hear is this vile laughter, and you see these pair of eyes hovering over you, just kind of glowing orange, like almost like there's a small firelight behind them. And then wisps of reddish blonde hair, and then a painful piercing in your gut, and everything goes dark.
Ashling, it's a dare do. Out of character.
Orange eyes and red hair, you say, though.
Reddish blonde.
I shake myself slightly. I rustle all over.
Yeah, that was disconcerting.
Yes. If I could squint, I would squint, but I take a moment, I look in the direction of Belethir. He's not really a reddish blonde, is he?
No. Most likely very far removed from that.
Very, very dark hair.
Yeah, like I imagine like the equivalent of like Volristad, like red hair would be like purple.
Yeah, wispy shadows.
Yeah, like Volristad's like their hair ranges from like black to white with shades of blue in between, unless they're on like what, the humid red spectrum, in which case like their equivalent would be having purple hair.
Yeah.
That's my headcanon.
Definitely not strawberry blonde.
Definitely not.
Which a certain someone with us you did say was platinum blonde a few sessions ago.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about Ashling?
Yes.
Would you like to see the picture of her again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got it in my journal. You
There
did
you
describe her as like a platinum blonde.
Uh-huh.
So.
Suspicious.
And the creature in the vision looked like what?
All he
describe-
really saw was the glowing eyes and the wisps of reddish blonde hair.
And could you describe it to an artist?
Are you asking this in character?
Yes.
Yes,
like
as
a
I-
sketch artist, like somebody who could maybe draw.
Well,
draw
keep in
things.
mind he's communicating telepathically, so he
Yeah, I can just
literally
send you
show
the image if you want it.
Yeah, how about listener just send everyone only the image of like the attacker?
Yeah. So, listener comes out of it, and he begins to communicate with the party at large. Very horrible. Very horrible indeed. We were not quite right, Wilhelm. They did die here. Which bodes very poorly for us, I think. This
Yes.
seems to have been the creature, or as best as can be seen now. And I send the image, the glowing eyes.
Have I ever... Does that ring any bells to me? In any of my schooling or learning, did I possibly read a book about scary stories?
Same for Belethir.
Same for Saoirse. If like her parents would have told her anything with respect to like folk tales or anything of that nature.
I wouldn't know shit.
Especially if this is related to the Dear Do, then she would have lived like closest to them.
I tell you what, let's do
What?
let's do history. We'll do a history check.
For everyone, normal.
Anybody who wants to, yeah.
Oh, history I might be able to do.
Rip.
Solid. Anybody else want to try?
I have no idea who or what those even are. I don't think I can roll.
You can.
What? No, it's a thing that only came up post play.
No.
It did not. I have no idea what that
This is some other shit.
This is some other shit. All right, I will roll then.
All right.
Sorry.
That's all right. Now this is going to be a very hard roll.
Listener and Belethir, though.
Yeah.
We're doing our best.
Belethir. Is that 24 yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So 24, 26, 22. You guys... I will say that you've heard rumors, legends, myths of the Derrick-Du. These blood-drinking creatures that are immortal and extremely powerful and dangerous to the nth degree, but also very devious and intelligent and charismatic. But they're myths and legends.
Yeah, don't exist.
Now, I will say this. Did you send the image to everyone?
Yes, but again, I can't send shit to Ashley.
Except Ashley. She might have been able to help.
Glowing eyes isn't really all that special. I mean,
I tell you what, anybody who wants to, who received the image, roll a d20 for me. If you want to. It's optional. You don't have to.
Shall I also?
I would
I don't-
always roll a die when
Yeah, if you want.
the opportunity.
It's a trap. Oh.
Belethir's head
If it is, you have
explodes.
triggered it.
It's a trap that you didn't fall for, my dude. Jeez.
So no, this actually kind of makes sense. And I did set the bar very high. So as and Belethir, as you receive the image, you immediately pick out that hair isn't red, it's just bloodstained.
Oh.
Oop. Oop. And I oop.
Exactly. Well, no, that's. Does it kind of vaguely look like Aisling?
Well, all you really got was the glowing eyes, which she doesn't have, and blonde hair.
Yeah, and friendly reminder, everyone in the party has either black or dark hair.
Yeah.
Every
Alright.
player character. and all the Hybristeadians have dark hair. Like Aisling is the only blonde in the city.
Maybe not the only.
Yeah, maybe not Ungamute, but I mean, like, yeah.
And the Colvart. The Colvart, they often
gonna-
have light-colored hair.
I'm gonna say something really,
Also true.
really just to listener, but I'm gonna say, well, do any of you guys have any sensibilities when it comes to casting spells?
I've been trying to be quiet about it, but yes, a little bit.
What? Nope, can't do that. I raise my hands and I show them my bracelets.
It was my understanding that they frown upon that around everywhere, really.
Well, except, well, my culture, we tend to think, sod all that. It's interesting. I guess I'll have to try and do it as subtle as possible, but oh yeah, well, that's not like reddish blonde hair. It's blonde hair that's got blood in it.
I knew it.
But I'm gonna have a go at casting that spell.
Uh-oh. Are you hiding your casting?
Well, we're inside the second building. Hopefully the Hybristeadians aren't watching us, and I'm gonna do as subtle as possible.
Right, well, your eyes are going to start glowing anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to recognize that in the party.
Well, that's why I said, does anybody, you guys particular, have any sensibilities?
So yeah, you subtly cast the spell. Belethir's eyes light up green. This otherworldly kind of nimbus to them. All right, what are you looking for?
I'm gonna, is this a one-story house or two-story?
What?
And they don't have windows, right?
Nope.
I'll ask, I guess, to go out and kind of like go stand the opposite side of Aisling and just ask her a few questions about how she's feeling. Just basically distract her so she's not looking back at Belethir, basically.
Yeah, alright. I'll take her.
She's standing outside.
Oh, okay. I'll go outside and I'm gonna sit with her in a snowbank, I guess.
You go outside. She smiles at you. She's standing outside, rubbing her arms in the cold. Are you guys all done?
No, I think they'll be in there a while yet.
Oh, I'd sure like to get out of here.
Chilled.
I am. It's terrible out here.
Absolutely chilled.
How are you doing it?
I got these giant ass furs from the shop. The shop lady was really nice, and I'll take fur cape thing,
Well,
kind of. I'll drape it around her.
Oh, that's very kind of you. You know, I've been to your homeland a few times.
Oh, I regret I've not been to yours.
Well, that's perfectly all right. I entertained your queen on a few occasions. She was a lovely, lovely woman.
She was indeed.
Still is, from what I hear, but just, worried.
I'm looking to get back to her.
Are you? She's still there,
In the castle.
Oh, no, the castle's not there anymore, love.
Then where?
I could show you.
Wait a minute. Ashling's not supposed to know that either.
Secrets.
Yeah. While they're talking, he's gonna try and very sneakily peek out and take a look at her, just to see if there's any life force to.
Give me a stealth roll, please.
Oh, this isn't his best one. This could be horrible. It's not awful.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not awful.
All right. Let me see here. That is. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Nice.
Look at that. Okay. Yeah, she seems fairly engrossed in her conversation with Az. Doesn't notice you. You're looking at the back of this big fur cape that she's wearing, which it's putting off a good deal of warmth. Her exposed head, however, is not putting off any heat.
Oh, yay. Alright, I'm gonna turn around and then I'm gonna drop green sight so my eyes can stop glowing.
Alright.
And I will then use the mind talking thing and say, well, now, is it something that you guys have noticed, but that lady out there does not have any heat at all coming off her?
I have suspected she's not quite alive. Most living things have minds to converse with. She does not.
Well, you know, when we're supposed to prove that the killer's not one of us, it's kind of hard to do that when I've got a sneaky suspicion that it is, and that it's her.
Mm-hmm. It does seem more likely, doesn't it?
Thing is, how? Knowing, well, from what I remember, and I don't know much, they're incredibly powerful creatures. And, you know, as much as I love being close to, dying, I actually want to survive the encounter. How are we going to do that?
We've been fairly good at surviving. Let us be careful about this. So, guess what time it is now?
Break time.
Well, it's past that. I was actually going to suggest we play a little bit more than just call it early instead of split it up at the break.
Yeah, we can do that.
Fine with me.
But, I do wonder if now might be the time for the thought stream.
The what?
It's time for everybody to have information very quickly.
The PWW, the Party Wide Web.
Yep.
So I'm gonna start spooling it up because we could be killed instantly. It's not likely. It seems like we've got pretty decent calm levels right now. But we'll see about it. Everybody needs all this information at once, so I fire up the thought stream and I pull everybody in.
All right. As this is your first time?
No, I don't think it's Az's first time because he's been in the thought stream back on the RT with Lenway and such.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's always weird though.
Okay.
Oh, it totally is.
Okay. No, we'll give it to you. I won't give you a noticeable reaction to being connected.
I need to maintain cover and keep her distracted.
Speaking of, yeah, she's. I could take you to the Queen if you like.
That would be, well, really wonderful, actually.
I know the way.
You know, you could just mark it on our map. That'd be great too. But
No, let's
someday, yes.
not be daft.
After we've got some business up north.
As your queen's gone into hiding, along with the very tree that gave you your longevity. Do you really think she'd be wanting me to mark it on a map?
Well, no, she'd kind of demand my presence as the captain of the Queen's Guard.
Exactly. You want to keep
Out
her
of-
safe.
Out of curiosity, can anyone hear any of this going on outside, this conversation?
It's kind of hushed whispers outside a stone dome.
But I suppose if we're all
Well, I
connected-
mean, the real question, has the thought stream fired up at this point?
We'll say it's firing up right about now.
Okay.
So, if Az is being put in the thought stream, then do we get to be privy to this conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then Saoirse, as soon as she picks up bits of this information that's going on with Az, she says in the thought stream, "Wait a second. From my conversations with Aisling, she's not supposed to know that. She's supposed to be ignorant of the world outside of what happened to the Blight. How does she know any of that?"
Because she's not what she said she was, love.
As we're gonna do this, as I need you to give me,
Deception.
yeah, give me a deception roll to maintain your poker face, because you guys might be in danger.
Oh,
I love being in danger. We're so good at it.
May as well just go ahead and do
Just
this.
go to pull up the good old
There we go.
the tracker there. I'm gonna get ready to roll my initiative.
So
I don't have a token.
here's the interesting thing about the party-wide web, and I've actually put some thought into this. You're all connected.
Yes.
I need everyone to give me a wisdom save, please, as she arcs an eyebrow and her eyes light up orange.
I have
Everyone,
a question for you.
everyone except Az.
I have an important question for you.
What's that?
I am the central node of the thought stream here.
Mhm.
They're all here for sure, but I am doing the work because these creatures are not, they have no native capacity for it, with the possible, the exception of Genesis, really.
Okay.
Can I make the wisdom save for them?
No, because it's an instant branch out for this one.
oof.
Rip.
Oh, it's a good thing I didn't make it for you then. Somebody better be using a reroll. How many of those do we got, really?
Well, if we count Ghinkgo's, 2.
2. All right.
I say mine count as long as I don't use them.
So is that every?
We're
oh,
short Genesis. Did Master Miss ever get back? Master Miss, you there?
Oh, there.
Okay. Oh.
Dang.
Luck point. Jesus, that was wrong. Okay.
Get your
sorry.
luck point in there. That's not better. That's not better.
Okay, I don't make the same shit. Okay. Well, see you guys later. Bye.
Well, I think we spend a couple of these.
Here, I got.
Who wants to live?
I just got smoked.
We got one more here.
Oh my god.
Who has? Oh, Uki, of course. Oh, Uki. Oh no.
Oh no.
So.
I hate to suggest this, but I do have a +7. I stand a very good chance of making it on a reroll.
Yeah, I definitely think you should, because that was a nat 1 for you.
Yeah.
You want to burn your rerolls here?
I think this is a good moment to be burning some rerolls.
It's your call. Your call.
Who wants to use the other one?
I think, well, can Genesis?
Can I?
Oh, not that.
Calling card. I got this.
Not
guys.
useful in this situation.
I was thinking, after you're already using the luck roll or whatever, can you still use another reroll? Or is that it?
I don't think we have any particular rules on that subject. We've burned a lot of rerolls in a row before.
Well, I rolled a 4. Uki rolled a 4. Uki did not use the log point. I would rather let Uki take the reroll. Just out of fairness, because I already had a second chance.
All right. If you guys want.
Yes, but you have the 1.
If everybody else is,
I mean,
It's up to you guys.
You're probably one of the most powerful characters here to give us more of a chance to survive.
Difficulties abound here. I'm gonna take mine real fast.
All right, go ahead.
Come on, bigger numbers.
let's go.
That's a bigger number.
Hey, there you go. GG.
All right.
I'm conflicted. I don't know. I don't want to be unfair. Uki's not here, you know.
We could save it for next time, since we're probably not going to start the combat without Uki here.
Either that
If-
or Saoirse.
I don't know. Saoirse's not all that useful. My vote is for Uki to have it, just because, well, number 1, Uki's like a pretty good fighter. Number 2, Uki can go and get Hypercity backup. And, like, you know, her people are going to believe her. So, like, whatever's about to happen to us, I think it'd be good to leave Uki's mind, like, free and clear of any influence.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
a good one too.
So, Uki?
Two for Uki. I guess, how many votes? Me, Saoirse. And who else?
I didn't cast a vote. I see both being very useful in this situation. It's just a matter of what sort of abilities a Derrick winds up having. I haven't read that stat block. I do not know in or out of character.
Yeah. I was thinking,
It's a pretty picture, but I'm not going to click on the link until after everything's all done with.
yeah, for me, I'm thinking it's either Genesis or Saoirse. Saoirse can probably use her music to maybe get us to have extra saves. Or,
No. Uki,
No?
Uki, not Saoirse. Uki, trust me.
All right,
Alright, then Uki.
Church, give us an Uki roll there. Let's see what we'll be coming into combat with.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Well, it was a little bit better. It was up.
All right, so here's what happens.
Oh my god.
Her eyebrow arcs kind of flicks up as she notices Az's poker face fall away. She figures out kind of what's going on. Her eyes kind of glow orange for a moment. As you see this, and you feel something pass through you into the collective.
Oh, weird.
Everyone within the collective, except for Listener, who made his second saving throw.
Not
Wow.
even Wilhelm made that? He
No.
rolled a 17.
He did not make it.
Oh,
Youch.
reps.
All of you are just beside yourselves with disbelief. How could I have thought this about my dearest friend Aisling? There's no way she could have done this. She is an absolute treasure and an angel and the last unscarred Shanakesian. This is ridiculous. Get me your manager.
Well, guess what I have? An active thought stream and an unmanipulated recollection of very recent events.
Flashcard.
Unfortunately, that won't be enough.
Oh, I've got some other tricks too,
Okay.
but we may want to save them
Is
for the
that
next episode.
is that effect kind of just ambient to everybody that's in the vicinity, or do you have to be able to target people? Because I'm still under the mask of
You are on the
thing.
you are on the web though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you are on the
that's
web. That's
fair.
what happened.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
So all but listener have basically fallen away from the idea that
Yeah.
Aisling is a threat. Aisling is just a Shanakesian in your
No,
mind.
yeah, of course. Why would we? What are you talking about?
But yeah, she's looking at you as she knows you're not affected by it because of what you are.
That's cute. You can do your ice thing too.
Yeah, and Az just heard the information from Saoirse that everything he heard from Aisling, she shouldn't be able to know. Before Saoirse was like, wait a second, no, not Aisling, no, it couldn't be.
I've been saying this entire time.
We've
Sus.
been here from day one. I
And-
reach out to Az over the thought stream and I say, do you still have your memories unaffected? I felt that go out to everyone else.
She looks at you as and says, "Are they still talking to you?"
She looks at Az and says, are you still talking? And Ghinkgo, you're muted, by the way.
Oh. There are thousands of voices in here. Which ones are you
Oh.
talking about?
I can imagine, but I think you know the ones I'm talking about. Listen closely. My offer to help you still stands. No strings attached, no tricks. I'm a woman of me word. If I give you me word that I'll take you to your queen, I will. And I do know where she is. Do you remember her handmaiden? Always by her side.
Of course.
Well, her handmaiden lives with me. Do you understand?
Not quite.
Oh shit, is she one of the Sanguine Epoch?
Yeah.
She's talking to a Siphoner artist! Oh no! She hasn't realized that, has she?
No, Az has never used her power, his power around her.
Oh shit.
So what do you say, Queen's Guard? Are you prepared to return to duty?
Every moment with every beat of my heart.
Oh,
Then
shall we be betrayed?
Mm.
then stand up, soldier, and come with me.
But you are not her.
No, but I can take you to her.
If I were the Queen's Guard, I would be able to find my way back to her.
Is
If I
that what
can't
you
do
think?
that, I wouldn't be worth my title.
It's such a shame, you know. You of all I had quite high hopes for. There's a greater thing at work here, and none of you see it. But far be it for me to force your hand. So I guess the other shoe's dropped. At least one of them in there is not cooperating.
All this time I've been hammering on everybody else's brain. Pay attention, look at the conversation.
And every one of them is just like, stop sending me these lies.
So if we don't think that he's telling the truth, we would probably detach from the thought stream, right?
It's your call.
I don't know if that's reasonable or not.
Well, Saoirse, like, after that little charm, she's thinking like, now who else have we seen at the stone bridge that has blonde hair? That could be it.
I've literally never once believed that whatever she is was good. And the whole time I've been like, no one has a fanny pack of food. Get a grip.
Finger food.
No. No one has a fanny pack of food. That is not enough space to carry 3 square meals a day. That is not. Either she has a bag of holding around her waist, which I don't believe. And we never see her eat, which is for a reason. But
Where
sure,
do-
yeah, she's fine. She's fine.
So she stands up, takes the cloak off, hands it politely back to you as. You know, I'd hoped things would go differently between us. I really liked you and your wee friends. They were pleasant enough, as far as your kind go.
And you. There's more to you than you let on. We should have left you on that island.
That's
As we cannot let her leave to prove our innocence.
the irony there, Queen's Guard.
Yeah, they should have left me in the wall.
Well, you're still under the assumption that you found me. But enough about
Well-
that. Enough about that. I'm not here to fight you or argue with you or...
Nor am I. So,
I might be here to fight her.
might we... at
Listener,
least
why
have-
would you say that? Don't.
As we met, and as we existed for our entire relation, and in the true traditional way. I still greet you in departure with a giant hug.
Are you gonna give her a hug?
Oh yeah, giant bear hug. She's not going anywhere.
Okay.
We call those grapples around these parts.
So, you are trying to restrain her?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes, she attacked the people who were very nice to me in freeing me from a wall and letting me go back to wandering back to the queen.
Alright.
I don't know her. I don't trust her. She's not following the rules of civilization.
I mean, she
Yes.
never attacked us,
She didn't
technically.
attack us. That's fine.
She murdered several people.
She's murdered civilians in cold blood who've done her no wrong.
Technically, the blood was quite hot when she murdered them.
Well, okay, fine.
No, hers was very cold.
Hers was very cold.
That's hilarious.
She's not following the rules,
True.
and I would be remiss in my duties and dishonoring my titles to let that stand.
All right, so you're gonna try and restrain her.
I will, yes. She's also dishonoring the craft.
All right, go ahead and go for a grapple.
Ah, not bad.
So I don't want you to see all my advantages here, so I'm just gonna roll the dice, okay? This is at advantage. Okay, so as the first thing you're gonna notice, as you bear down, she looks up at you and smiles, and you can see just the tip of one of her incisors kind of pointing down. And she literally just kind of pushes out her arms and breaks your grip. Like it's nothing.
Fucking hell.
Vampires.
She's strong. Ooh.
Alright.
That's odd.
Yes, tiny little Ashling just broke your grip like it was nothing.
I
So-
love it.
It's wearing late in the evening, and we skipped our break. Might I suggest we wrap it up here?
We can leave it at this little cliffhanger
Oh yeah.
to see how she's gonna react to Az being aggressive.
It's not aggressive. It was just a big bear hug. She's just really strong and broke the bear hug, which is unexpected
And
In fact,
widely considered rude.
and widely rude, right? You know,
Well,
sometimes we're
you know,
immortal. All right,
maybe-
sometimes these hugs could last a while.
Maybe she'll give you
It's gotta
one
have
back.
It's got to have that emotional impact. That you know.
The irony of this is you're
not
in
the
bite range.
We are, yeah, sure. Okay, that's fine. But, you know,
You're in bite range.
whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
So-
How much stronger I'll be? You bite me by a vampire?
Yeah.
So just to
Oh my
clear,
gosh, give me vampirism, please.
so just to clarify that what we think, what we've been made to think.
Mhm.
We think that she's just the last untouched Shamakishan and that she's like fine.
Super
Yeah.
cute.
She's our friend. We love her.
Sweet little Ashling.
Do we think she's a friend even if we haven't previously thought that?
Yes.
Okay. And are we allowed to be reflective towards what we've thought before and see that that's changed? Or is that meta?
You would reflect on it and say, wow, I can't believe how wrong I was.
So we can think of the facts, the evidence, the proof, and think it's...
Your mind is going to intentionally wind its way to whatever the positive conclusion is, even if it's outlandish. It's like a drug addict trying to basically justify their need for drugs, if you've ever heard one do that. Like, it's, it's not unlike that. So basically, unless
You and me, Az.
yeah. Let me see here.
Unless she starts doing damage.
Unless she hurts you, or the time period ends, you're under this effect.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out how I should be speaking and acting for the foreseeable
you're
future
good.
when we get this started.
I can't believe everyone failed those rolls. That was brilliant.
Oh
I
yeah, it's
can-
on a DC 18.
I can make a wisdom save. Words I never want to hear for any
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
I nearly did. Got a beefy wisdom save. I can
I
roll a
mean-
1.
I
Does-
never stack into that, and I'm always like, what if? And here we are.
It's
So-
one of those instances where I imagine the whole party's kind of going, I'm in danger.
This is,
No,
this is
yeah.
a very I'm in danger moment.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's great. I've been saying the entire time she's sus, and she turned out to be sus. I was right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in a little enclosed house with her just like right outside of our only exit.
Yes.
I-
Yes. This should be interesting. So,
I'm kind of disappointed she didn't like the hug.
she
I gotta
she
stop
did smile
joining
at
thought
you.
streams. Jeez.
She smiled at you.
She did smile. That's true.
So I will say, because I forgot, I got to get used to this again. Thank you to skullsplitterdice.com. Best dice in the world. Go check them out. If and when you do buy some, please be sure to include was it Featherfall at discount? Let me type it in there. I think that's it. Yeah. Include code Featherfall at checkout to get 10% discount. And I'm going to type this one in advanced. Did I get it? Yes. And Found Familiar Coffee for sponsoring our streams. Once again, what's gaming without caffeine? Sleepy. Don't do it. Make sure you're caffeinated. I believe they also have tea. So, and yeah, I know we have a lot of tea drinkers here in our group. Be sure to check them out. Once again, same thing, Featherfall at checkout for 10% off. Thank you guys very much. We will be back, Wednesday, I think Tomb of Annihilation. Thursday, Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Friday, we're back to the private game, which is secret. We'll tell you guys about eventually. And then Saturday, back to Sigil Confidential.
Yeah, Saturday is
that
a
one's
May.
gonna be a sus event on its own. I'll be just barely back from a very long trip.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Either way, I'm sure if nothing else, we'll figure something out to do to entertain the likes of you. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you for sticking it out. Thanks for the rerolls, the advantages, the D4s, even though most of those came from internal. Always a good time. And in 2 weeks, we will be back with this. And we'll see what happens with Aisling the Deerdew. Stay tuned.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
Good night.
Night.